Okay. Just to pick up from where we left off on the part 2, looking at price, coming up to here and showing that we were possibly going into distribution phase. So we saw this widespread. We talked about that. Okay. So we were going to continue to watch. I was continuing to watch here over the weekend, this here, and into next week, if this was going to continue to show signs of distribution as we've defined it. So what we end up with is, you can see marking here has a resistance level. So we come up into here trying to make new ground here. We've already seen the weakness, and what do we see? Good volume increase, a lot of volume, and again this next one, high volume again with a pin doji, not able to make any progress here. So this is again confirming distribution, and in fact once this candle closed bearish, confirms this fake breakout again. We've seen that before, and that usually marks the end. So there's the fake break on high volume coming in. Now if this volume hadn't increased so dramatically on this move up, we could have continued, but again it's this higher prices bringing supply, and the confirmation there with that doji and going right back into range, very very clean top performing there. So it continued down to that level that I expected in no time, and even continued down a little further. So that was a nice transition there that we could use there for an example of the distribution phase. This is called an upthrust, just like we have a spring if it's on the downside, but that high volume fake breakout right back into range. So again, that 1 hour point of view makes things very clear. Distribution to markdown. So let's continue. Just want to show what happens after this, because it goes into a range, and what I want to show in this video is variations on the phases that we've shown so far. We've seen the very simple primary phases, but now it's getting a little further into being able to predict them, and the variations mainly is what I want to show that occur, and being able to trade those variations. So here we have a range. So markup, distribution, markdown, and here we can see a good amount of demand coming in there. Again, same principle, volume increased, but the down move did not continue. We have that widespread down bar inside close, a lot of volume there off the bottom, and we can see that the demand showed up there. So we have that overwhelming supply and overwhelming demand here and here. So where does it continue up to? This was probably, I don't remember, probably some news release or something. Put that candle aside. This is actually after 16 GMT, so I wouldn't be trading anyway. So accumulation, markup, and again you can see the volume increasing, the same type of behavior with the trend not continuing of the increase in volume. So at this point you can see that why we may be forming a range, that there's demand and supply, moving down here again, high volume, the pin into new territory, bullish reaction, and there's demand showing up. But look at the move up to widespread up bar and high volume with no progress, and down we go, demand, supply, demand. So you have a recipe for a range. It's neither accumulation or distribution, just a simple range. Until there's more of one than the other, we keep bouncing off. So I want to go to what happened now this past week, and it's a good example of a variation on the phase 2 and trading that. So we have the markdown here, obviously, and Tuesday here we come into this area, we get that high volume bullish reaction going on here, and this is the point where you could say, okay, we possibly have seen the end of this down move, and that demand is coming in, and we wouldn't want to be looking for shorts anymore. Hadn't seen anything like that so far during this move. Any sign of demand, it just continues, but in this case, nice high volume followed by a move up here. So just like our top, we've seen that high volume to stop that move and that reaction. So we started off here with our accumulation, and go into our range, and we consider this accumulation now. And as we'll watch it move up, we want to see, again, talking about higher volume here at the lower points than at the tops. Of course, we have to wait for that top to form, and here it did. Once it started pulling down, you'd know that was a top for that reaction, automatic rally, as it's called, in accumulation off the stopping volume. So there's that point. And you can see the volume there, as it moves up, forms that top, is not that high, and we're comparing it to the bottom. So we can still confirm this is accumulation. If that was extremely high volume, we'd say, uh-oh, we're going to redistribution. So very clear. We'll still be looking for long entries, and so I had a long entry in there, and that was actually the long entry in my other video, Trade Diary 3, caution going long during a downtrend. So this appears to be a downtrend, but my long entry was here, ended up really, picking the bottom, as it were, even though that was all I was looking for at the time. It really did end up being the bottom. So the market's open, just capped up, it's looking bullish. So it did end up being the bottom, and you can see there we're in accumulation phase. We continue that, so a nice intraday trade there, and you can see that other video for that entry setup. So now put it all into context with why I was looking for longs during that downtrend from a 1 hour point of view. So to continue, we pulled back here. Of course, volume's low this time of day, but that increase does show, doji stopping that move down, some more accumulation. So as we continue up now, and we're going to try to push above this point, and I like to draw my support resistance over the pin. So we got that. And so coming through here, we want to look at the volume again, right? We're making higher prices. We want to see, is there going to be supply coming in, or can we continue up into a markup phase off of accumulation? So we come up there and we see some high volume kicking in on this move up, and the reaction to that high volume, bearish. So it doesn't look too good at this point. I like to see coming out of here the fact that there's no more selling, not enough selling, or not enough supply to continue up on medium to low volume, moving up without that sell pressure coming in. Because we know higher prices can bring supply, and there it is, the increase in volume, the move up, bearish reaction. So there's already a first sign. Not looking too good on this markup. But then we have some bullish move here. We have new ground, again, being made, and we could even have looked here at our marking our little pin area. And again, these zones become very important, that when price moves into them, we want to see the reaction. So price moved into that. We saw volume starting to really increase. Again, so in here, we start to move into it. There's that increase in volume again near the high of the day as far as volume. Pin on top, bearish reaction. So again, not looking too good for the markup. Higher prices keep bringing the higher volume and the down move. So by this point, I was comfortable looking for a short entry, watching the 5 minute. I didn't make a video of this entry though. But the same sort of thing where the 1 hour was showing me this weakness and that the markup was going to fail, as I call it, just a failed markup. So it could either fail and continue down as far as, really being redistribution in the end, accumulation turning to redistribution and continuing down, or really just failing the markup and having to go through reaccumulation or accumulation for a longer period of time, because we've accumulated here, start to move up. If it's not doing it, it could spend more time accumulating and then eventually move up. So it's maybe just not ready to go. But we understand the point is too much supply, too much weakness from those higher prices, and it's not able to move up. If more demand is gathered, it have a better chance of doing that. So the little accumulation period didn't last very long. Markup didn't work. But this high prices bring the supply and gave me a good short entry here. The 5 minute was a no demand entry, textbook. So just to talk about the target on that trade from a 1 hour point of view, because I haven't shown any trend lines or channels, just connecting very simply what I thought was going on here was a channel when I got into that short. So I was targeting, as far as the channel lower trend line, I can target there. That gives me, or that line, that's whatever point it meets up. And then you also have, I love my 1 hour fibs. I'm always aware of what what's going on with those. So we have a confluence there with a, if I were to draw over that 56.8 fib, again, it's pretty much the same level. So this became my, main target on the trade. I actually had a smaller fib drawn as a first target. So I really like to use those 56.8 fibs as well as support resistance, simple support resistance as targets. I didn't hold, but you can see, if I said let's hold straight to the next support, obviously would have been there. And again, marking that in this way. Barely made it, but you get the idea. This zone creates an area already where you're going to start seeing demand. So that worked out as a target on that. And so at this point, I just want to show mainly that, a couple of the variations here. So accumulation that looks like it's going to go into markup. This high has been established. It's pushing through. The price is moving up, but not ready to go. We saw that the higher, as I explained, the higher price is bringing that supply and looking for that short. Now it looks like what's happening now is it's accumulating for the most part. We can see this volume increase here to stop this down move. This down move here, hit some volume increase. We move up. This move, lower prices here, found a lot of volume, and you can see the bullish reaction here. So it looks like demand very clearly off this area. If we compare it to the top, we have no significant increase in activity up there or there. So we can define this as accumulation, just possibly not ready to go up yet there. But the more demand, the more buying, accumulating the buy orders goes on, better chance. Here, again, you can see some supply came in, wasn't ready to go. This was NFP, so don't even worry about that. But pretty clear on that the higher price, you can actually see, what went on there was, I'll mark it like that. It was a fake breakout on extremely high volume. Again, this pattern repeats even on NFP. How do you like that? On news. So we have that spike up, high volume. Obviously, the reaction was going right back into range. And, you can see the same principles playing out. So it looks like we may, want to adjust the channel and get the big picture in there now. That sort of thing going on. So by definition, this is still accumulation, and we take it from there. If the higher prices bring too much supply, it really would be okay to short. We're basically talking about a range. But it becomes more and more likely that we move up out of this area with that demand that keeps showing up on high volume off the lows. So by definition, it is accumulation. And I'd rather be buying off the lows. And again, as far as entries, I don't know if I'll get into with this series or really just keep up with the trade diary installations there, that series. So either way, you get to see, how to treat the 5-minute and look for the entries and how to work in the 1 hour. And basically, I'm looking at those 2 time frames for the most part. I'm checking on the 15-minute. And, this doesn't include all aspects of my trading. Of course, I'm looking at support resistance on the higher time frames, fibs on a daily chart, but basically all the stuff we've seen here. I think if you look at these videos, I don't know if I may continue more in the series, but if you look at these videos and really go over them, watch them multiple times, and really listen to all the concepts and every point that I'm making, make sure that really sinks in, you really will be on your way to understanding what's happening here. And you can always post your questions. So this video is pretty lengthy. I think we covered that, the variations and on the phases from the 1 hour point of view, and the other videos with the 5-minute. I think we've covered a lot. So to see if people can follow along, understand this, and see if we can really help them out. So thanks for watching.